You don't even realize it, but you've lost control of your own mind. You used to wake up with ideas. Now you wake up with notifications. The first thing you touch isn't your goals, it's your phone. And in less than 30 seconds, your brain is hijacked. You're scrolling through someone else's life before you've even stepped into your own. You check one message, one reel, one email, and suddenly the morning's gone. Focus, gone. Momentum, gone. Another day slipping through your fingers before it even began. And here's the worst part. This isn't just a bad habit. It's a system. One designed to keep you distracted, addicted, and average. If you've ever asked, why can't I stay focused anymore? This is it. Your mind is being rewired, not by choice, but by default. The truth is this world is louder than ever, but it's not the noise that's killing your focus. It's your silence, your decision not to fight back. Because if you don't train your mind, the world will train it for you. So let's talk about how to take it back. You've been told your problem is laziness, that you just lack willpower, that you need to try harder, cut out distractions, or just stay focused. But here's the truth nobody tells you. You're not the problem, your environment is. You are living inside an attention war, and your mind is the battlefield. Every single app on your phone, every algorithm you scroll through, every notification ping has one job: to interrupt your thoughts, capture your attention, and reroute your brain towards someone else's priorities. They don't want your focus. They want your addiction. These systems weren't built to empower you. They were engineered to manipulate you. And they're winning, not because you're weak, but because they are relentless. Let's get brutally honest for a second. You're not choosing to open your phone 80 times a day. That's not a conscious decision. It's programming, repetition, reflex. You've been trained like a lab rat to respond to the buzz, to the red dot, to the dopamine spike that comes from checking again. And the longer you stay in this cycle, the more damage it does, not just to your productivity, but to your identity. You start to believe things about yourself that aren't true. I'm just not disciplined. I've always had a short attention span. I'll never be as focused as those successful people I follow. But that's not who you are. That's who you've become under the influence of a system designed to split your mind. Here's what's really happening. Your brain has a limited amount of attention it can give in a day. It's like fuel in a tank. But every time you get pulled into something meaningless, whether it's a meme, a DM, a trending sound, or a political rabbit hole, you're burning that fuel. Tiny leaks all day long. And by the time you actually sit down to work on something that matters, you're already empty. You call it burnout. You call it brain fog. But the truth is, you've just been drained before your real day even began. The problem isn't your lack of focus. It's that you never had a chance to focus in the first place. Because this world doesn't reward focus anymore. It monetizes your distraction. Think about it. An entire billion-dollar industry is built around keeping your mind anywhere except in the present moment. They make more money when you can't finish a book, when you stop mid-project to check a comment, when you delay your dream one more week, one more month, one more year, because you were too busy being busy. This isn't a glitch, it's the plan. The algorithms don't care what you do with your life. They care that you stay online. They care that you click. They care that you scroll. They care that you can't stop. Because the longer you stay, the more they win and the more you lose. And yet we keep blaming ourselves. We internalize the failure. We shame ourselves for not trying hard enough. But that's like blaming a soldier for losing a war when no one told him he was in one. You didn't choose this battlefield. But now that you know it exists, you do have a choice. You can keep living like your attention doesn't matter, or you can start protecting it like your life depends on it, because it does. Focus is your future, and the longer you let this system fracture your attention, the more pieces of that future slip through your fingers. Now here's the hard truth. You can't win this war with discipline alone. Discipline is important, but it's not enough when your entire digital environment is designed to exploit your impulses. You need strategy, you need structure, you need a reset, and that starts by understanding that your attention is not free. It is currency, it is energy, it is the foundation of every dream you have. You don't lose your goals overnight. You lose them one scroll at a time. One "I'll do it later" at a time. One forgotten priority at a time. And if you're not intentional, if you don't take control of your input, you will become the output of someone else's algorithm. Let that sink in. The most dangerous lie is "I'm distracted." I'll fix it later. No, you won't. Because the longer you live in distraction, the more it rewires your identity, and the harder it becomes to remember who you were before the noise. But here's the good news. The same brain that was trained to be distracted can be retrained to be focused. You can reclaim your attention. You can rebuild your clarity. You can become someone who doesn't just work, but works deeply, clearly, without interruption. But it won't happen passively. It starts when you stop blaming yourself and start seeing the enemy. Let's talk about what happens if you don't take action. Let's say you ignore this. You keep living exactly the way you are now, checking your phone every 5 minutes, starting tasks but never finishing them, telling yourself you'll really focus tomorrow. What does that future look like? It's not a dramatic explosion. It's not a massive breakdown. It's quieter than that. More dangerous than that. It's a slow drift. One day blending into the next. One unfinished goal turning into 10. One excuse turning into your identity. You'll still be busy, but never fulfilled. Still tired, but never moving forward. Still surrounded by notifications, but totally alone with your thoughts. And the worst part, you'll feel like it's normal. You'll normalize the blur. You'll stop noticing how many hours are wasted every week. You'll forget what it felt like to have mental clarity. You'll tell yourself this is just adult life. That everyone is this exhausted. That focus, peace, and productivity are privileges you'll never reach. But that's not the truth. That's the cost of doing nothing. That's the life you buy when you don't fight for your focus. Let me ask you something. How many ideas have you abandoned because you were too distracted to follow through? How many half-finished projects are sitting on your desktop, not because you didn't care, but because your mind kept getting pulled away? How many times have you looked back at your day and realized you were busy the entire time, but got absolutely nothing done that truly mattered? That's not a productivity issue. That's a directional collapse, a life stuck in motion with no traction. And that collapse has a price. A recent study showed that the average worker loses up to 2 1 hours every single day to unnecessary interruptions. Let's do the math. 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week, 500 hours a year. That's over 12 full work weeks just evaporated by distraction. And that's not just time, that's books you didn't write, skills you didn't learn, businesses you never started. Relationships you let rot because you were too mentally scattered to be present. People say time is money, but that's not true. Time is life. And distraction is how life gets wasted, quietly, slowly, invisibly. Still think it's no big deal? Let me tell you a story. There was a guy I met a few years ago who had an idea that could have changed his entire industry. A new tool. He was first to the idea, first to market, first to get interest. But every time we talked, he was working on it. Still refining, still brainstorming, still tweaking the website or answering a million little messages or stuck in feedback loops online. He wasn't lazy. He was distracted. And one day he sent me a link. Someone else had launched the same idea, better, faster, louder. His opportunity was gone. He messaged me one sentence. I got beat because I wasn't focused. He wasn't angry. He wasn't bitter. He was just devastated. And that's the moment it hit me. Most people don't lose because they're not smart or talented or motivated. They lose because they never protect the space needed to focus. They never claim the quiet time to create. They never guard their attention like it matters. And by the time they realize what it cost them, it's too late. I want you to think about what that means for your life. What happens if another year passes and you're still distracted? What if you keep living at 20% of your potential? What dreams will be left to die because you never made the space to bring them to life? This is more than an inconvenience. It's a war on your legacy. If you don't take control of your focus now, one day you'll look back and realize you spent more time watching strangers live their lives than building your own. So how do you break free? How do you go from feeling scattered, overstimulated, overwhelmed, to finally taking control of your mind again? It's not by downloading another productivity app. It's not by watching another YouTube video while you multitask. And it's definitely not by waiting until life magically calms down, because it won't. Here's the breakthrough. You don't need more time. You need more ownership. You don't need to be superhuman. You just need to stop living on autopilot. Because the truth is, your focus isn't something you find. It's something you build deliberately, relentlessly, daily. And it starts with one powerful shift, one decision that most people never make. You decide that your attention is sacred. That's it. It sounds simple, right? Almost too simple, but stay with me. The moment you start treating your attention as sacred, like something worthy of protection, of planning, of discipline, you stop giving it away to things that don't deserve it. You start saying no to everything that scatters you. You start noticing when your environment pulls your mind apart. You start rebuilding the muscle of focus not by force, but by alignment. And this is the turning point most people never reach, because everyone's looking for hacks. Everyone's looking for speed. Everyone's trying to escape discomfort. But you're going to do something different. You're going to slow down. You're going to reclaim your space. You're going to learn how to sit with silence again. Because that's where your power lives. Let me be clear. This is not about becoming a productivity robot. This isn't about squeezing more out of yourself so you can grind harder. This is about waking up. It's about realizing that the ability to focus, to lock in, to think deeply, to move intentionally, is one of the most valuable skills you can develop in a world that's constantly trying to distract you. And the best part, anyone can do this. Yes, anyone. You don't need a fancy morning routine. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't even need to feel ready. All you need is to decide. And from this moment forward, I will no longer give my focus away for free. You can start small. One focused hour in the morning. One deep breath before reaching for your phone. One task completed without switching tabs. These moments don't feel big, but they're the beginning of something massive. They're the beginning of you reclaiming your mind. Because when you make focus a practice, not a performance, you become dangerous. Not in a reckless way, but in a powerful way. In a way that makes you unshakable in a world designed to pull you in every direction. People will notice. You'll start showing up differently. You'll begin to respond instead of react. You'll finish what you start. You'll stop chasing distractions disguised as opportunities. And here's what's beautiful. The moment you start showing up with full attention, life starts showing up for you. Your relationships deepen. Your creativity sharpens. Your time stretches further than it ever has, because clarity multiplies energy, and focus multiplies results. You want more peace? Start protecting your attention. You want more confidence? Start completing what matters. You want to feel alive again? Start living with intention, not reaction. That's the key. Not a new app, not a different to-do list, not a motivational quote. The key is you. You realizing you are not here to live by default. You stepping into full ownership of how your time is spent. You choosing to think clearly when the world is loud. You fighting to stay present when distraction begs for your attention. That's the insight. Focus is not a personality trait. It's not something some people are born with. It's a decision you make over and over again, until it becomes who you are. So if you've been waiting for permission to slow down, to focus deeply, to guard your mind like your future depends on it, well, this is it. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to escape the chaos. You just need to anchor yourself inside it, because the breakthrough isn't out there. It's already in you, waiting for you to choose it. Let's break it down. You've heard the insight. Focus is a decision. But why does that simple decision work when so many other things do? Why is choosing to treat your attention as sacred more powerful than any productivity hack? Because the truth is this: your brain is constantly being shaped by what you repeatedly do. Not what you occasionally do, not what you think about doing, but what you actually repeat again and again. Your focus is not just a mental state. It's a neural pathway. It's a habit built over time, reinforced by the choices you make every single day. That means distraction isn't just something you fall into. It's a system your brain has learned, because you've taught it, often without realizing it. Let me explain. Every time you switch tasks, check a notification, or skim through 5 tabs at once, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. A little reward. Your brain thinks, "Nice, that felt good, let's do it again." So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed, bored, uncertain, or even slightly uncomfortable, Your brain reaches for what it knows will bring relief. Distraction. It's not your fault, it's neuroscience. You've trained your mind to seek escape instead of depth. But here's the good news, you can retrain it. You can teach your brain that focus is the new reward. That depth is more satisfying than dopamine. That sitting with discomfort, without immediately escaping, isn't dangerous, it's powerful. This isn't about gritting your teeth or forcing yourself to focus through sheer willpower. That doesn't work long-term. What works is rewriting the loop, the trigger, the behavior, and the reward. Let's say the trigger is a hard task. Your brain feels resistance. Old behavior, open your phone, scroll, check emails, escape. Old reward, a quick dopamine hit. A distraction feels better than facing the hard thing. Now here's how it works when you flip the system. New behavior, you breathe, you stay, you do just 5 minutes of the hard thing, no escape. You complete one clear step, you feel clarity. Momentum, self-trust, that becomes the new reward. And when you repeat that enough times, you begin to crave completion more than escape. You begin to associate focus with progress, not pain. And that, my friend, is when everything starts to change. Because you stop being a slave to reaction and you start leading with intention. But it doesn't stop there. When you choose focus consistently, your brain also undergoes something called neuroplasticity, the ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. In short, the more you practice deep focus, the better you get at it. It becomes easier. It becomes your new normal. Think of it like going to the gym for your brain. The first few reps feel heavy. The old habits scream louder than your new goals. But if you keep showing up, if you keep doing the reps, your mental muscles get stronger. You start thinking more clearly. You stay calm under pressure. You stop reacting to every buzz, every trigger, every temptation to escape. That's not just productivity. That's power. That's self-leadership. And guess what? Science backs this up. Studies from Stanford and Harvard have shown that consistent focus leads to improved memory, greater emotional regulation, higher satisfaction at work, and even stronger relationships. Why? Because when your mind is clear, your decisions get better. When your decisions improve, your life improves. And it all begins with this one daily practice, choosing to stay where your feet are. You'd be amazed what happens when you train your mind to stop fleeing every time something feels hard, boring, or slow. You start finishing what you start. You start creating things that matter. You stop bouncing between 17 priorities and finally move one thing forward with real force. Focus works because it's the opposite of fragmentation. It brings you back to wholeness. And from that place, you become more effective in less time. Not because you're doing more, but because you're doing what matters without interruption, without leakage, without apology. But here's the part no one tells you. This doesn't happen overnight. It's not magic. It's not a switch. It's a muscle. You have to stretch it, tear it a little, rest. Repeat. Day after day, choice after choice, moment after moment. And the more you do it, the more it becomes who you are. Someone who follows through. Someone who doesn't get owned by every shiny object. Someone who keeps their word to themselves, not just once, but as a life. Let's get practical. You've heard the truth. You've seen the cost. You've felt the pain of living distracted. But now it's time to move. No more theory, no more waiting for motivation. No more excuses masked as I'm just a scattered person. You don't fix distraction by reading about it. You fix it by doing something about it every single day. So here's how we do it. I'm going to give you 5 simple, powerful, real-world steps to start training your mind to focus, starting today. No fluff, no hacks, just real structure rooted in what works. Ready? Let's go. Step 1, own your first hour. The way you start your day is the way you shape your brain. Most people lose the game before they even get out of bed, because the very first thing they do is hand over their attention to the world. Phone, notifications, news, messages. They don't even own their mind for 5 minutes. Here's your challenge. No phone for the first hour of your day. That's it. No scrolling, no emails, no social updates. Nothing. Instead, you use that hour to train your brain to focus. Wake up. Drink water, breathe, read something intentional. Write your priorities, sit in silence. Move your body. This hour isn't about productivity, it's about sovereignty. You're telling your mind, I'm in charge today. Own your first hour and you'll start owning your day. Step 2. Create a distraction-free work block. Set up one block of time. Start with just 45 minutes where you go all in on one single task. No multitasking, no bouncing, no half effort. This is your focus gym. Your brain won't love it at first. It's addicted to easy rewards, but stay with it. Let the resistance come. Then outlast it. Use a timer. Put your phone in another room. Close every tab except the one you need. Turn your notifications off, not down off. This is you reclaiming territory inside your own head. One block, one task, one outcome. You do this every day, and over time, that 45 minutes will become your power zone. Step 3. Declutter your environment. Your external space reflects your internal state. And if your environment is chaotic, your brain will be too. Take 10 minutes today to clean your workspace. Not perfectly, just intentionally. Put away what doesn't serve you. Remove visual clutter. Have a dedicated area for focus, free of mess, free of distractions, free of mental noise. This isn't just cleaning, it's a signal. You're telling your brain, this is a place of clarity. You don't need candles or fancy music. You just need space to think. Step 4, set a no-focus zone rule. You know your biggest triggers. Maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's email. Maybe it's switching tabs every 60 seconds. Whatever it is, give it a boundary. Set up at least 2 hours a day, not necessarily back-to-back, where those distractions are completely off-limits. You can use apps to block sites. You can give your phone to someone else, or just put it in a drawer. The point isn't punishment. The point is protection. You're not avoiding distractions because they're evil. You're avoiding them because your mission is too important to be diluted. You are not here to be available to everything. You are here to be devoted to what matters. Step 5, close the day with reflection. Most people crash into the end of their day without learning anything. They consume, react, cope, then repeat. But you're not most people. Take 10 minutes at the end of your day to ask 3 simple questions. What did I focus on today? Where did I allow distraction to creep in? What will I do differently tomorrow? Write it down. Not on your phone, on paper. This isn't journaling for likes. This is journaling for alignment. You're not just building focus. You're building self-awareness, and that is the foundation of every strong mind. So let's recap. No phone first hour. One distraction-free focus block daily. Declutter your physical space. Set clear no distraction time zones. End your day with reflection. Are these steps revolutionary? No, but they are real, they work. And most importantly, they're repeatable. You don't need a new system every month. You need consistency. You need commitment. You need to be the kind of person who follows through. Because here's what no one tells you. It's not the size of the action that shapes your life. It's the repetition of it. Tiny steps done with discipline become your identity. And once you become someone who chooses focus, you'll wonder why you ever lived any other way. So start today, pick one step, just one, and do it like your future depends on it, because it does. Let me tell you a story. It's not about a celebrity, it's not some viral success tale. It's about a regular person, someone like you, someone who didn't think they had what it took until everything changed. His name is Marcus. 32, works in marketing, lives in a noisy city, always on the move. His phone was glued to his hand. Messages, meetings, mindless scrolling. His day was one long notification. At first, it didn't seem like a problem. He was busy, always doing something, but deep down he felt it, this quiet frustration, this ache that wouldn't go away. He'd start the day motivated, but by noon he'd already fallen into the black hole of distractions. He'd make to-do lists, then rewrite them because nothing ever got finished. He'd read half a book, write half a paragraph, brainstorm half an idea, half-hearted, half-present, half alive. Then one day something snapped. He missed a deadline for a client, a big one. It wasn't the first time, but this time it cost him. His manager didn't yell, he just looked at him and said, "Marcus, I don't think you're really here anymore." That sentence crushed him, because it was true. He was showing up physically, but mentally he was gone. That night he sat down, no music, no phone, just silence. And for the first time in a long time, he asked himself, when did I stop being in control of my own mind? He couldn't answer it, but what he did do next changed his life. Marcus made one decision. Every morning before anything else, he'd take back the first 60 minutes of his day. No phone, no noise, no distractions. He set his alarm 45 minutes earlier. He bought a cheap notebook. He wrote down 3 things every day, what he was working toward, what mattered today, what he would not allow to interrupt him. Then he started a 60-minute focus block every day before work. No email, no browser, just one deep task. At first it was hard. His brain fought him. He reached for his phone out of reflex. He'd catch himself thinking about coffee, laundry, Instagram, everything except the thing in front of him. But he didn't quit. He stayed. He breathed. He kept showing up. After 2 weeks, something strange started happening. He began finishing things, real things, not just tasks, but thoughts, ideas, projects. His clarity improved. His anxiety dropped. He felt less reactive, more anchored. He wasn't just more productive, he was becoming someone new. By week 5, he started defending his time. When coworkers tried to throw in last-minute tasks during his focus block, he politely said no. When friends called him lazy for not replying immediately, He smiled and stayed offline. And guess what? He didn't lose anything. He gained everything. That single hour each morning became the cornerstone of his self-respect. His performance improved. His boss noticed. He got promoted not because he was working harder, but because he was working smarter. But more than that, Marcus was finally at peace. For the first time in years, he could sit in silence and feel full, not restless. He could be present with people and not feel the itch to check something. He'd trained his mind not to be perfect, but to be present. That's the power of focus. Not just in theory, but in real life. And Marcus, he's not exceptional, he's not more disciplined than you, he didn't have a secret advantage. He just stopped running. He stopped accepting distraction as a normal way to live. And he decided, one day, one block, one page at a time, to take his mind back. That decision changed everything. So let me ask you, what's your Marcus moment? What will it take for you to finally say, enough? You don't need to wait for rock bottom. You don't need to lose the opportunity, the job, or the time. You can start now. You can claim the first hour. Now that you've seen what's possible, let's talk about what can pull you back. Because here's the truth. Most people don't fail to build focus because they didn't care enough. They fail because they underestimated how hard it is to protect their focus once they start building it. So let's get ahead of it. Let's expose the traps before you fall into them. Let's get brutally honest about what to avoid. Because if you don't see these coming, they'll take you down quietly before you even realize it. Warning mistake 1. Thinking motivation is enough. Motivation feels good, but it fades fast. You'll hear a podcast like this, feel fired up, plan your focus routine, and then Monday hits. Life gets loud, you're tired. You hit snooze, and you tell yourself, I'll get back to it when I feel ready. But ready never comes. Because motivation isn't the fuel for focus, commitment is. The people who stay focused aren't supercharged all the time. They just made a decision that doesn't change with their mood. Avoid the trap of waiting to feel like it. Instead, act like it's who you are, even when you're tired. Even when no one sees it, that's how it becomes real. Warning mistake 2. Multitasking equals productivity. You might think you're being efficient. 2 screens, 5 tabs, replying to messages while writing your report. But here's what science says: multitasking doesn't save time. It kills depth. Every time you switch tasks, your brain experiences a phenomenon called attention residue. That means even after you stop reading that email, your mind still lingers there. So your next task gets your body, but not your brain. Avoid this. 1 tab, 1 task, 1 block of time. Multitasking is not a flex, it's a leak. And leaks don't just drain time, they drain your ability to finish anything with clarity. Warning mistake 3. Expecting immediate results. You'll try to focus. Day 1 feels great. Day 2, a little harder. Day 3, your mind rebels. You think, maybe I'm just not built for this. That's the trap. You're expecting years of distraction to be reversed in 3 days of discipline. It doesn't work like that. You're not rewiring a task. You're rewiring your entire identity. Focus takes time. Be patient with your progress. Celebrate small wins. Finishing a task, resisting the urge to check your phone, showing up when you didn't want to. Don't quit because it's slow. Slow is the speed of transformation. Warning mistake 4. Letting other people's urgency hijack your day. This one's sneaky. You sit down to focus, you're ready, and then someone calls, a coworker pings you, a friend texts, a crisis that isn't yours arrives, and just like that, your plan evaporates. Why? Because you trained yourself to be available to everyone except yourself. If you don't set boundaries, the world will decide your priorities for you. Avoid this trap by creating sacred space, non-negotiable windows of time where no one has access to your mind. You don't need to be rude, you just need to be clear. This is my time, this matters, I'll respond later. Every time you say yes to someone else's urgency, you're saying no to your own legacy. Warning mistake 5. Letting a slip become a spiral. You will slip, you'll check your phone, you'll lose a day, you'll let distraction win sometimes. And the trap is this: you use one slip as proof that you can't stay focused. So you spiral, you give up. You call yourself undisciplined and stop trying. But one moment doesn't define you, your response does. The strongest minds in the world get distracted too. They just recover faster. The second you catch yourself off course, reset. No shame, no drama, just return, refocus, recenter, begin again. That moment right there, the bounce back, that's the real proof that your mind is getting stronger. Warning mistake 6. Thinking you're alone in this. One of the most dangerous lies distraction whispers is, everyone else has it together. It's just you who can't stay focused. That's a lie, the truth. Most people are struggling silently, drowning in notifications, living in a fog, pretending they're productive when they feel completely lost. But you're not alone. And the moment you stop pretending is the moment you start growing. Talk to someone, share your struggle, build an accountability partner. Create a shared focus block. You don't have to isolate to become powerful. This journey gets stronger when you walk it with others who care about focus too. Here's the bottom line. You don't just need to know what to do, you need to know what to watch out for. Distraction isn't always obvious. It often wears the costume of busy work. Just 5 minutes or urgent message. But now you see it. You've named the traps. You know the cost. And every time you avoid one, every time you refuse to fall back asleep in the noise, you take back a piece of your mind. So don't just build the habit. This is your moment, not next week. Not after your inbox is cleared, not when your schedule magically opens up. Right now. Because if you've been waiting for a sign to start taking your focus seriously, this is it. Look, every day you delay, you're training your mind to wait, to coast, to surrender your attention to whatever yells the loudest. But deep down, you know this. No one's coming to build your focus for you. No one's going to hand you your best life while you scroll your way through every hour. If you want clarity, you have to create it. If you want self-respect, you have to earn it. And if you want to reclaim your time, you have to make different choices. So here's the call to action. Start tomorrow like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. And I'm not asking you to flip your entire life upside down. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to do one small thing that sets the tone for a new direction. Here's the challenge. For the first 60 minutes after you wake up tomorrow, don't touch your phone. No notifications, no checking, no reacting. Instead, spend that hour doing something that reminds your brain that you are in charge. write, walk, think. Plan your day with intention, not reaction. Even if the rest of your day goes off track, even if nothing else gets done, that first hour is yours. That's your anchor. That's your mental reset button. That's your first rep in the gym of clarity. Because here's the truth. Focus isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in tiny decisions that no one sees, in the hours when no one claps, in the quiet moments when you say no to the noise and yes to your future. So start with one. Just one hour, one block of attention, one promise to yourself that you refuse to break. And when you do, everything starts to shift. Your thoughts slow down, your emotions get quieter, your confidence begins to rise. Because you're not just chasing focus anymore. You're becoming the kind of person who creates it. You don't have to get it all right today, but you do have to begin. Start now. Start small. Start like you've already decided. I will not waste another day living distracted. You're not here to just survive the noise. You're here to rise above it, to lead your mind, to reclaim your peace, to protect the life you're capable of building. And it all begins the moment you stop waiting. And imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a storm, wind howling, voices pulling at you from every direction, endless messages, deadlines, updates, opinions, noise, and right there in the center of it all is you, still, focused, unshaken. You're not ignoring the chaos. You're just no longer owned by it because something shifted. You trained your mind. You chose clarity. You remembered who you are. That is the power of focus. Not just to help you finish a task. Not just to keep your calendar organized, but to transform the way you move through life. Focused people don't live easier lives. They live deliberate ones. They still get tired. They still face distraction. But they've built something inside that the world can't take from them. And that's what I want for you. Because let's be honest, what's waiting on the other side of distraction? Another half-read article? Another scroll through someone else's highlight reel? Another day wondering why you feel so drained but can't point to anything real you finished? That's not life. That's consumption, and you were built for more than that. You were built to create, to lead, to think deeply, to feel present, to move with purpose. But none of that is possible when your mind is split into 1,000 tabs. So here's the final question I'll leave you with. Who are you when the noise stops? If everything went quiet right now, no messages, no apps, no expectations, what would you do with your focus? Would you build? Would you rest? Would you finally finish something that's been whispering in the background of your soul for years? You see, the world won't hand you silence. You have to carve it, you have to protect it. You have to say, this part of my life, this moment, is mine. That's the legacy of focus. It doesn't make you perfect, it makes you powerful. Because when you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your time. And when you reclaim your time, you reclaim your direction. And when you reclaim your direction, you're no longer at the mercy of the world. You become the architect of your own. So as this episode ends, I'm not asking you to remember everything I said. I'm just asking you to remember yourself, the version of you that's still in there, the version that craves stillness, that's tired of chasing, that's ready to lead, not just react. And the next time the noise gets loud, because it will, pause, close your eyes, breathe deep, and remind yourself, I am not my distractions. I am the one who chooses what matters now. That's how focus begins. That's how your life changes. And